Hey, good morning, everyone. Paul McMann here with Forex Smart Trade. So glad you could be with us this morning, Tuesday morning, August 10th. Here at Forex Smart Trade, our mission is to help you become the best version of yourself. We do that by helping you become financially independent, by teaching you how to currency trade with our super accurate proprietary trading tools, and our best in the business one-on-one training. We believe personalized one-on-one training is the best way to learn currency trading. With this in this session, I use two different signals of our over a dozen signals from our indicators. The ones we'll be focusing on are something called the 10-point trade. And if we have time, we will do a thick orange line trade. These are signals that are different than what you're shown in the light program. In the light program, we're showing you a more simple version of the trading tools. The goal is for you to see that the tools work as well as we say, and that it's something that you can do. So with that, let us first start with the disclosure, and then we'll go and take a look.
Due to federal and state regulations, we are providing the following disclosure. Please stay tuned, as this will take less than a minute. Foreign exchange, futures, and cryptocurrency trading are highly risky, and you can lose all the money you invest should you decide to engage in live trading. We are not responsible for your investment, trading, or tax decisions. We are not licensed financial advisors, traders, accountants, stockbrokers, or attorneys. We are not licensed commodities brokers and do not engage in or facilitate commodities transactions. We are not an introducing broker, and we make no recommendation as to where you should invest or what broker you should trade with. As you apply what you learn, we recommend you seek advice from licensed professionals. Any trade results that we show should not be considered typical of our students. We do not and cannot track the results or performance of our students' private trading accounts. We do not know what a typical or average student earns or loses trading. This is not a get-rich-quick program, guaranteed system, or business opportunity. We sell training and trading tools. We make no promises our training or tools will generate future income for students, and you may not make your investment back, including your investment in this training. Any redistribution or recording of this material is strictly prohibited without advance written permission.
All right. Let us, as you know, we've got a schedule. I do 3 live trades a week. This morning we're doing now, also Thursday morning at this time. A little later this morning at 9:30 Eastern time, there's a 30-minute introduction to coaching session. Tomorrow night is the light member meeting. For those who are members, you have access to many more live trades than this. I would attend as many of those as you could until you're consistently doing 10 pips a day. There's the MIT at 10 a.m. Eastern time and the AIT at 10 p.m. Eastern time. There's also the Sunday afternoon trade. With respect to how I go about my process, first thing I do is I check to make sure everything is up and running, and I've done that before we've come online. Review of yesterday. So yesterday we took a trade. That trade is still open. So let's take a look at it. I would suggest the one error I made. I think the analysis was okay, but the error that was made was if you've got your sound on, mute yourself. Is I wanted to avoid any peek throughs, and I should have enlarged the chart a little bit because we should have put this blue line just above the peek through here and the peek through here on this green candle. We should have just pushed it up just a little bit more, and it probably wouldn't have engaged, and we would just close the trade now had it not executed. But it hit the point that the peek throughs were yesterday, and I didn't push this line up enough. That being said, if we go back to the chart and take a look at it, I am okay holding this. Before we got online, I was looking at it on the 1 hour and 2 hour charts. We were overbought and it was a little bit sideways, but we still had the 4 hour chart was going up. So what that would mean is that we just have to wait a little bit longer for the trade to close. So I was okay with that. And as we look at it now, we've got up pressure on the 1 hour, up pressure on the 2 hour, and very light up pressure with green on top on the 4 hour. So I think we will still get this as the 4 hour chart continues to push through. Again, had so we're kind of back to break even on this. Yeah, I would keep it because we still have the 4 hour to make its move. So with that, let us go back and we're going to see if we can find a new trade. So I think we're okay holding that trade. We are looking for situations where we are oversold or overbought. On the Australian US dollar, we're in the middle of the channel, so we're going to pass. Euro USD, we are oversold, but the majors aren't pointing up yet. Minors are, but the majors aren't, and we don't have the double cross. So we will pass there. Pound dollar, we are overbought, but the signal is kind of sideways versus down. I really want to see the lines going down, not sideways. So we're not going to take this. We technically do have the double cross here. Red is on top, but it's going sideways. So we're going to pass. U.S. Canadian dollar, we haven't got to overbuy yet. Majors are starting to turn around while they're in the channel, but they're not pointing down. So again, we're going to pass. Dollar Swiss franc, overbought, still going up. U.S. yen. Majors are coming down. Minors aren't there yet. Overbought, but both haven't turned yet. We do have all four here, and we have up pressure with red on top, but the minors here are sideways. This is maybe a possibility. But let's see what else we have, and we'll come back to it. So the JPY, USD JPY is a possibility. Oops, where'd my, there we go. If I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember it. USD JPY. Let's see what else. Now, this next set of six, these are non-US pairs. That first set were all US pairs. These next six are non-US pairs. So oversold. Minors are going up, but a little bit sideways. Majors are just about to turn up, but they're not there yet. So I'm going to pass. Australian dollar, yen, overbought, going up. Europe, euro, Canadian dollar, oversold. Minors are still coming down. Majors are sideways. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, majors still coming down, oversold coming down. Pound yen, overbought. Minors are coming down. Majors are kind of coming down. I really call this more of a sideways. I want to see more steepness in the lines coming down than the sideways. We do have 3 points here. The two orange lines coming down, dotted blue coming up. I want to have a minimum of 3 out of 4 here. But I do have up pressure with green on top. So I don't have the pressure part of it. And that that's consistent with the line kind of going sideways here. And then euro, Australian dollar, oversold going down. So nothing there. So let's go to the next pair. Canadian yen overbought. Majors coming down, minors going up, so I don't have consistency. Australian or euro New Zealand dollar oversold. Not everybody's going up, and it's really sideways, and minors are down. Pound New Zealand dollar still in the channel. New Zealand dollar, yen oversold and going up, so that's no good. Gold USD oversold, but the majors aren't going up yet. We are going to stay off the Bitcoin because many of you can't trade that. Next group of 6, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, overbought, going up. Swiss franc yen in the middle of the channel. Euro yen oversold, still going down. Pound Australian dollar. We are overbought and everybody is going down. It has entered the channel. It's okay that it's entered the channel because it hasn't quite gone halfway. But the majors aren't going down enough. We really actually don't have the double cross here. The red hasn't crossed over the green. Well, it's going back and forth on whether it's committed to going down or not. All right, so right now it's going down. If we take a look at the two orange lines, both going down, dotted blue going up. So I got 3 out of the 4 here. I do have down pressure. I've got down pressure. So with green on top, but that's okay because the pressure is going down. So I have a point here. I have 3 points here, and I have 3 points here. So I've got 7 points. So on the pound Australian dollar. So then the next thing I want to take a look at is, you know what we didn't do? We didn't check our Forex Factory. I had checked it earlier, but I forgot to check it with you. And last night, if you remember everything, Forex Factory, we are technical traders. So we're trading based on the price action, which the indicators are very good at telling us when the turns are and how big a move might be. But news also impacts currency, so we want to know what the news items are to make sure that we don't have a trade in the middle of a news item, because the news item is going to impact it, and our tools can't tell which way it's going to go. So Forex Factory breaks news items down into low impact, which are yellow, medium impact, which are orange, and high impact, which are red. We want to know where the red items are and trade around it. And right now, the next red item is until tomorrow morning, 8:30 on the US dollar. So we've got kind of a clear shot on trading this morning. Nothing coming up for pretty much the rest of the day. So we got nothing to worry about here, but now we want to know where the support and resistance are and what the trend is to help us figure out if this is a good trade or not. So what I want to do is I want to look at the full chart of the pound Australian dollar. So to do that, I have a chart that has 6 different time frames of one pair on it. A minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, and 1 day. So with that, let's adjust the chart. So Great Britain pound AUD. Great Britain pound AUD. Oh, sorry. Great Britain pound AUD. All right, so here's the chart we were looking at. What I want to see is how much support I have for what I'm seeing on the 1 hour chart, on the 2 hour chart, and 4 hour chart. And ideally, I want to see that if we are overbought here, I want to see that we're overbought here. May not be turning down yet, but it's overbought, because when it's overbought, eventually it's going to move through the channel and become oversold. We are more than halfway down the channel. It has started to turn. So I don't like this as much. I'd rather this be up here, because that gives me a higher chance of getting the move through the channel. On the 4 hour chart, we are basically overbought and coming down. And on the day chart, I don't pay as much attention to the day chart because it's so far off. But on the 2 and the 4 hour, so the 2 hour, I kind of like, the 4 hour, I kind of like. The 2 hour, I'm not as crazy about. I do have on the pressure, I've got red on top, and the green line is starting to point down here. And on the 4 hour, I've got red on top, and the lines are diverging. They're moving away from each other. So that all supports it. This bothers me a little bit. So let's get again a little bit more detail before we decide. So we're going to go to the pound Australian dollar. Oh, did our other trade might have not yet closed? Let's take a look. You know what I want to do on this trade? I'm going to go ahead and move the stop loss up. I'm going to move this stop loss up. So to do that, go to modify, and we have our stop loss down here. Actually, the thing you can do is you can just grab this line, and I'm going to pull it right above our take profit. So if there's a pullback, it will take us out before we lose any money, and we'll get back to break even. If it makes its run, we're fine. I usually will use this technique once I've kind of made my 30 pips for the day. Any trading I do thereafter is kind of gravy. So if I take a trade and it goes positive, I'll pull up my stop loss so as to, if it does pull back, I won't lose anything. But I'm not necessarily need the trade to kind of complete my day. So since we're positive here, I'm pulling up the stop loss to basically get rid of the loss if it pulls back. But the signal still is good. So let us take a look at, let me save this. We're going to call it AUD CAD. And now we are going to change the symbol to Great Britain Pound, AUD. And what were we looking at? We were looking at a sell. Sell. I'm going to pull it together to get a little bit better read. I want to have a little more time frame on this to know where the support and resistance are. Support and resistance are spots where the candles seem to naturally stop. So I'm going to drop a line on here and try to move it to where I see these natural stops. Right in here, kind of right in here, you could theoretically move it down just a little bit. Let's put another line in. So right in here, it stopped. Right in here, it stopped. Right in here, it stopped. In here, it stopped. Let's put one up above. Stopped right here, all in here. So we've got 1, 2. I'm going to put one more above. And how about one more below? Right in here. So with the support and resistance, the candles tend to naturally stop at these spots. And we want to know where they are, because if we're trying to take a trade through them, the likelihood is it's going to stop and take some time to move through. And in terms of what we're seeing, let's see, unlock channel. In terms of a trend, I don't know, the last week, we're trading into an uptrend. So we're going to take a sell trade into a uptrend. So that's telling me we're going to take more pips. But our issue here is we're hitting this resistance line. I would want this to break this resistance line before we took a trade. Now, since it's morning, I would continue to watch this. If we get a candle that closes on the other side of this resistance line, and we still have this down signal, I would consider taking the trade. I do not want to take a pending trade now. The reason we took a pending trade last night is we were going to bed, or I was going to bed. But if I'm going to be awake, I'd prefer to just watch it, and once it makes the break, take the trade. But this signal has improved since we've been watching the little bit that we have. The lines are much steeper now and all clustered together. And the pressure now is really coming down much steeper than it was when we first started looking at it. Our issue is that we're hitting this resistance line. So I am not going to take this trade. But if you'd like to keep an eye on it, go ahead and do it. And the key is doing this well is being selective in the trades that you take. So I do have the signal, but it's not enough to have the signal. I'm paying attention to where the support and resistance are. And you can see it's been bouncing here the last day. So it needs to really break through this before I consider taking it. So with that, we've got about 5 minutes left on the top of the hour. Let's see if we have a thick orange line trade where we can get 5 pips off of it. Thick orange line trade. This is a different signal than the 10-point trade, and it's a little scalp trade. And what happens is we are looking at what's going on with this thick orange line. And this number up here is the scale of the thick orange line, and it goes from 0 to 10. When it is at 10, what it's telling us is that it believes there's no more up in the movement, that the up is maxed, is petered out. So if there's no more up in the movement, that's a good time to sell. Likewise, when it is at 0, it is telling us that there is no more down in the movement. And if there's no more down in the movement, that is a good time to buy. However, we want to get confirmation of that by taking a look at one of the other parts of the indicator to see that it's telling us the same thing. And when we get more pieces of the indicator telling us the same thing, it's a good trade. And on this trade, it's a little scalp trade, and you can kind of think about it. That happens right at the top of the hour. We have 3 minutes left in the top of the hour, 3 minutes, 54 seconds. And when the new candle changes, it's like pulling an elastic and letting it go. There's a little snap, and we want to catch that little snap. So I'm looking for situations where this is 0 or 1, or 1 point within 0 or 1. So 5 isn't. 3 isn't. 0 is. So the thick orange line is down here. So when I see a 0 here, I want confirmation with the majors and minors that this is a good trade. So what I'd want to see is I'd want to see all 4 of these lines well below the red line. I don't have that here. They're still up by the blue line. They're still overbought. I want to see them oversold. So I don't have consistency here. So I'm going to pass. 8.5 isn't close enough. 3.5, no. 0, yes. I got part 1 of the signal, but I don't have part 2 of the signal. The majors and minors are overbought. I want them all oversold. So let's keep going. Next chart. I've got a 10 here on the euro pound, but I'm oversold, not overbought. I'd want these lines up here. 3 isn't 0 or isn't close enough to 0. 7 isn't close enough to 10. 2 isn't close enough to 0. 0, yes. And actually, if you notice, we're seeing this with all the pound pairs that have the pound in it. We're at 0, but I'm overbought here. So these need to be oversold for this to be a good trade. Euro Australian dollar, nothing. We're at 5. Let's go to the next pair. Zero here, but again, my majors and minors aren't supporting what I'm seeing here. 8 isn't close enough. 5 isn't close enough. 2 isn't close enough. 2 isn't close enough. 2 isn't close enough. Let's go to the next pair. Australian Canadian dollar. 5 isn't there. 2 not close enough. 0, yes. We're a little closer here, but the majors aren't past the oversold line. And between the majors and minors, I want to see the majors and minors well below, not just the minors below. So I really care what's happening with the majors and minors here. So I don't have that. But this is much closer than the other ones that we were looking at. 6, no. 3, no. 1 isn't close enough. So, gang, we have struck out today. One of the rare days where we did not see a trade. We looked through about 18 pairs on the thick orange line, on the 10-point trade. We got close to a signal. We saw the signal set up. We're happy with it, but when we got to looking at the candles, we saw we were sitting on a resistance line, so we decided not to take the trade. Let's just go back and take one quick look at that, and then we look through 18 pairs, so you can see it's still sitting on that line. It's still sitting on that resistance line. So, and then we changed signals. We used a different signal, a thick orange line signal. We went through 24 pairs, and there was no setup where we saw either the 0 or the 10, or within 1 point of either the 0 or the 10, and the confirmation with the majors and minors. So that happens sometimes. So no trade. We didn't see a trade in terms of the trade that last night's trade. Last night's trade is starting to pull back, but we had pulled up our resistance. So our stop loss. So if it does pull back, we will close out at break even or just above break even. Let's see what we've got for questions. The last night's Euro USD trade is still open. So I would hold on to that for right now. Okay, gang. Thanks so much for being here. Sorry we couldn't find a trade this morning, but that happens sometimes. I think this is the first time it's happened in a couple months. So we will see you on Thursday. Again, we're here to help you become awesome, successful traders. If you keep listening to what we instruct you, we will make you awesome, successful traders. All right. Thanks so much. We will see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.